Welcome to another video from theplayersaid.com. My name's Alexander.
And I'm Grant.
And this is our April monthly debrief in the middle of May. We got there in the end. It ended up being a very busy turn of the month.
Yes.
Where normally we would have been doing this. We happened to be at Buckeye Game Fest, whose videos you will either have already started seeing or you will have seen by the time this comes out.
Yeah. I actually think they're scheduled. This will probably be next week, so
yeah. So
I think it's kind of the next week that the BGF stuff comes out.
Well, but Congress of Vienna's tomorrow.
Oh, okay, sure.
So they'll start seeing videos from there.
The raw video.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a
great game, by the way.
Oh gosh, and
I cannot wait to play that again and do I want to get 4 dudes, and I want to do that all day on a Saturday.
No, absolutely.
Like start at 9 and
go until
finish the whole 10.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that game's
without question.
Freaking awesome.
So more to come from that later. It's hard to not wax lyrical about that game, and we've only just kind of like dipped our toes in.
So I will say this one thing, right? We have played some really good games in the month of April,
yes.
And then we played some really good games at Buckeye Game Fest. I feel like the games we played in the past 30 days have been high quality, top-notch war games, period.
Yeah, it's funny. We took a ton of games there, and it was like...
We actually played most of them, too, which I was shocked.
Yeah, and it was the ones we didn't get to were the ones that we had said it was unlikely we were going to anyway.
Right.
So I didn't feel like we missed anything, but it was like banger after banger for a while there. It was pretty cool.
It was awesome.
We
had one stinker in the middle, but...
Yeah, okay.
I shouldn't say stinker. There are some people that are going to love that game.
No, I don't think that's true.
Okay.
I think there are people who loved that game.
Well, it's the nostalgia, and they loved it, and they're going to love it. So anyway,
well, we like the idea.
More to come on that one.
So let's talk about in April.
Yeah, what we
had played, because we played a few different games, and they're all right here. So the big one, and this is just the lead because it's still set up over here.
Well, because we're going to play it again next Friday,
yes.
I think.
So, Fighting Formations, U.S. 29th Infantry Division from GMT Games. This is kind of the late Chad Jensen, his Fighting Formation system.
It's Volume 3, right?
Volume 2, because that Gross Deutschland is an expansion to...
We're pointing over there because it's right on the shelf.
I've put those in a much more prominent position because we will play those.
Yeah, we will.
That as well. Yeah, I've got the original Fighting Formations and the Grossland Battle of the Kharkov expansion to that.
Yeah.
But it was on the shelf of shame. We haven't played it yet.
Yep.
This came out and it was like, let's do it. It's still set up here. We shot kind of a first impressions. Is that out yet? I don't think
it's soon. It's coming soon.
I think the unboxing we just did, but it's coming soon. If you might have already seen it, this game is very, very fun.
Well, it's a tactical game that is combined arms. Very different than Combat Commander, but it shares some of the same DNA.
Yeah, it feels like a Chad Jensen tactical game, but it's the structure around which you do your stuff is different and very fun to engage with.
It's a great little system. I am shocked that more people haven't said, why aren't you guys playing that?
Here's the thing.
They have.
A lot of people have said that.
Okay.
They're like, oh my gosh, you've got to check out Fighting Formations. The problem is that no one had Fighting Formations. Because it kind of got released and it was okay, but everyone just loves Combat Commander. Everyone loves their ASL. Everyone loves their tactical games they already have. And that was one of those games that didn't get the traction it deserved.
I hate to say it, I think somebody sent us one of those too.
No, absolutely. I think that's
I can't remember if it was the expansion or the original, but someone mailed those to us out of the kindness of their heart.
I believe it was the base game, because I think we got the expansion from GMT.
Probably.
And I was like, oh,
yeah.
I didn't know it was I thought it was a standalone. It's not. Someone sent it to us. But yeah, it's languished on the shelf, and for that I apologize. But the system's excellent. It's really, really good. There's a lot more to come from that. And we will play more of that
100%
as well.
So let's do
this one down here.
Big boxes,
big
heavy boxes.
Okay. Aces and Armor from PKB Games. This is a German designer, a German company, and this is a very light war game. Kind of
little toys, little toy factor miniatures.
which is great, and you put in little tokens on them, and it's very abstract. It's kind of generic-y. Like, it has scenarios, and they're kind of World War II historical, but like what you're doing on the board is like moving around and fighting guys until they're dead.
You're
basically.
fighting over this area and trying to control factories, and it's just generic factories.
I don't know if this means anything to you, but I was talking to John Wolfe about this, and he was like, it's like playing a game of Command and Conquer Red Alert. I don't know if you ever played that PC game. It was a real-time strategy game, and that was set in like a fake Cold War, but like, it's just... I happen to be the Allies. You happen to be the Soviets.
Sure.
Red and blue.
And that's it.
And then, but it's just about killing their base, and that's it. Like there's no theme in it. This one has a bit more of a theme.
It does, yeah.
But it's driving across the map to take their factories, to build in their factories, to drive out of their factories.
I think the best part of this game, the minis are cool. The experience system is very cool. I like the way the dice work. The asymmetry is very good.
Yeah,
right.
it's a neat...
German units are better at some things, worse at others. American units are better at some things, worse at others.
Same for the Soviets.
Yeah, it just makes for a very tactical puzzle that you're trying to figure out.
And for a light war game, they did a cute job, and it looks great on a table if you can get them all to not break.
Agreed. Yeah, and that's the one thing we had one break.
Little fiddly, but probably more from there later on, spoiler alert. So that was the two big... Oh, we played Drop Zone Southern France.
Yeah, we don't have that with us. I forgot it.
You were shooting the board for your stuff.
Well, I've been writing some stuff, so...
So I played that up in... on a work trip, I went up to Minneapolis, and I played that with John. And it uses that 1944 Battle of the Bulge system that Worthington came out with. It's that, but just it's better. They've improved it.
100%
It's got
better.
more asymmetry in it. They use different custom dice.
And it's got the airborne.
And it's got the airborne, but it's not the Normandy landings. It's down in the Champagne landings, and so it's something that we don't play a lot of games on, and it was really fun.
Yeah, it was very good.
And I have played both sides in that because I played it once with him, and then we played it the next week because I was like, this is amazing, we got to do this.
Yeah, loved it. I love the game.
And it's just... It plays in 2 hours, and it just does exactly what it wants to do, and it knocks it out of the park as a fun, enjoyable game.
Well, I think one of the best parts about it is, now the airborne units aren't so divergently different that it really matters a ton, but when you compare the French units with the normal Allied units, the airborne units, there's a huge difference.
That's where the difference is.
But when they drop, the German player doesn't know what units are what. And I think that is very well done. I think it's very... interesting, and I think more games need to do those kinds of things. We know too much when we play war games, I think.
And some the other thing I like about that game is the victory conditions.
Yep.
That is a game where you are against the clock, and you have to do a lot. And you have to do it by turn 3, and if you don't, you have to do the rest of this by turn 5, I think it is. And that's... There's constant pressure from the very first landings to get stuff done, and I really like a game that feels tense and fast-paced and like you're doing a lot. Yeah. Because some games you get bogged down of like, we're just in this like melee again and again and again, and time be damned. Yep. It's a fight to the death. This one is like go, go, go. And I really like that.
And I also thought the very interesting part about that game was the reinforcement schedule and how it worked. Yeah. And where they came in on the board really created some tactical issues for both sides.
And right? And you know, it's done from a pool, but it's done randomly within that pool.
Yes,
so
I thought that's very good.
You get a great amount of replay from that, where like how your reinforcements drip and drab onto the board will be different. Those assets.
Oh, those are really good.
That was great as well.
It has little circular assets like an airstrike or a long-range artillery bombardment or I'm trying to remember what the other ones were.
There was like a combined U.S. and
British attack together. Just very well done, and you draw those out each round.
Yeah, you draw a couple of those each round.
1 or 2.
That's what you get.
And you can only use 1 in a fight, and it's just kind of fun. It just adds some unknown to it. I thought that game was great.
I think it was really well done. Really, really liked it.
From Worthington, I think that's one of their finest games in the past couple of years.
Just to imagine we've got the box here. There's a full review of that already planned.
It's at my house set up because I've been writing stuff.
So that was the games we played, and then we went to Buckeye Game Fest at the end of the month. Yep. So it straddled the end of April and the beginning of May. So
I think we started on the 29th.
Yes, I believe that's the case.
29th, Tuesday the 29th, Wednesday the 30th, and then Thursday was May 1st.
Yes. So we're going to talk about games that we played in April and also that we will play in May, but that we've already done. So.
You guys know the drill.
Yeah. So
we do this all the time.
The first day, because we got there on Tuesday evening. I had to go to work.
And you know what? We argued about whether to do that. we talked about, let's just show up Wednesday. And I'm so glad we both decided to go on Tuesday because that gave us an entire extra day plus about 4 hours that night. And I'm telling you, we got a ton of games in. And a ton. 14, I think.
And we were there very early before a lot of people get there. And so
we played a two-player game.
Bits and pieces on our own, which was nice as well. So the first thing we did, we got there on that Tuesday night, we set up Crusade and Revolution. This is part of our Shelf of Shame.
Yep.
There will be a full review of this coming out. Spoiler alert, this game is incredible.
Oh, it's amazing.
It's the Paths of Glory system, but it's transported to just the Spanish Civil War. And it is, amazing. This game was incredibly fun. And we played just the first campaign.
5-turn
So
scenario,
we played 5 turns. We did, I think, 3 turns that first night and 2 turns the next morning. And it was just a joy to play with.
Well, and it whetted my appetite and has made me want to go back and play an entire campaign.
And an entire campaign is going to probably take you all day.
Yep, 100%.
In reality. But boy, I just love this system. We played a little bit of Paths of Glory. I played Pursuit of Glory. And this was just like going back to that system. I love it so much. And it's just an incredible time.
To me, I think where this game shines is that the card system is so very different than many other card-driven games. They're just not the same type of cards, if that makes sense. And it really felt very much more like a war game. And what I mean by that is, I think sometimes in CDGs we get so many events that but we were moving and fighting almost the entire time.
Yes.
Either through the actions on the events or just using the ops. But it just felt so much more like a war game.
And what I really liked about this is that the Spanish Civil War was like the precursor or like part of World War II, depending on who you ask, even though it's this kind of separate thing. They were fighting with effectively World War I style weapons at that point, right? They didn't have all of the new flashy stuff, or like there's one counter of Panzer Ones that comes on in like the 5th turn, right? It's
Franco has those, right? Not the not the it was called the Republicans.
Yes,
I was the Republicans.
But the Republicans can get like the 1 T-26
yes.
But like those are such Soviet pathetic tanks anyway, comparatively. But like it was guys in trenches and fortifications with rifles. That's mostly what this was.
And it was a lot about maneuver and attacking where you wanted to attack, you as the attacker, because I was defending.
And being able to exploit those things as much as you could.
Well,
very difficult.
As the defender, to move into position to slow you down, understanding the point-to-point map and how it worked together. It was just really good.
An excellent game and a great way to kind of kick off the convention once it was just kind of the two of us.
This is the deluxe edition, and I'm telling you what, that is a nice game.
And it's huge. It comes in this massive box. So this is the size of a kind of a normal box. It's huge because it has 2 22 by 34 maps in it, but they're only folded into 4 leaves instead of 6. And so, four. And so that's why the box is shaped the way that it is as well. The map's laid real flat dries. Excellent game.
I'm jealous that I don't own that game because it's that damn good.
Yeah, that's and it's hard to get a hold of. You can look on Compass Games' website, but this is a copy that we got from Noble Knight Games.
Yes.
So you can always get it from our sponsor, Noble Knight Games, who I definitely remembered to mention early on in this video.
We're the worst.
Oh, man. One of these days.
One of these days.
This monthly debrief, as all our monthly debriefs are, sponsored by Noble Knight Games. And a little bit more officially from them later on. Spoiler alert, we spent a lot of money there.
It's not that we don't remember them.
We just get so excited.
We're just so excited about talking about the dumb games. So, yeah, thank you, Noble Knight.
They're incredible.
Amazing company.
So we did that. And we finished that on the Wednesday morning. And again, there's a full debrief of all this stuff. So we'll kind of blitz through some of this. I know I like to wax lyrical, but that game was incredible.
Oh, it's amazing.
We played Black Orchestra. We harangued
so good.
3 other people, although it was really 4 other people. Because we had Hannah and Neil kind of teamed one of them.
Yeah.
And then it was...
John,
and another Neil. I think they both called Neil.
I can't remember. I'm terrible.
That was... Okay.
Good people, all of them.
Black Orchestra is a cooperative game about the plot to assassinate Hitler. So think about von Stauffenberg, Operation Valkyrie. That's one of the things you could do, in here.
I think throughout the game, more than one person said, "Help me, Tom Cruise."
Yeah.
I mean, right? How do you not, after watching Valkyrie,
Yeah.
So
this is also a Shelf of Shame game. You literally bought this, what, 2-3 years ago?
I think I bought this 4 years ago because we thought our wives would play this with us. There is no way they will play this. This is a serious game.
This is too much.
It's involved. It's very long.
It's not very long. It's just longer than they like.
Yeah, sure. They want a 40-minute game. This is more like a 3-hour.
This is a 2.5 hour game if it goes the whole way. It can end much quicker than
that. It can.
But this game was incredibly fun.
Yep.
This was one of those games also, people were like, have you played this? Have you played this? We've played it. Amazing.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh.
I want to play it again. I mean, and I backed, sight unseen, we hadn't even played it, I backed the new Kickstarter with the Resistance expansion, and then it has like an entire new game called Valkyrie. So I bought them both, and I bought some extra decks. But now that we've played that, this is one of those cooperative games that will never leave my shelf.
Yeah.
Because it's got such an interesting history. It's so well done. It is fun.
Oh my gosh. And you have
challenging.
The most intense discussions.
Yes.
And not in like
what are we going to do? How are we
going to
do it? What if we do this? What if we do that? Well, we need 3 successes if we do this. We only need 2 if we do this. Oh,
but this will take longer. I mean, we might lose our window. The discussions we had were mouth-wateringly good. Yeah. And it was a case of like, it provided an experience that I didn't know a game could achieve, honestly.
It's just so good.
And it was so good.
The thing I loved about this game so much is the dice.
Yeah.
The dice mechanic is so fascinating because you're being asked to roll this dice that has 2 successes on it.
3, I think.
So 2 targets.
Is it just 2?
It's just 2 targets.
Oh, damn.
It's just
that
2.
Is bad.
So it's 2 successes, 3 numbers that are extra actions, which is fun and cool. And then that, I can't remember what but it's the...
that's a suspicion.
Suspicion, it leads them to investigate you if you roll too many. But I'm telling you, you're rolling 3, maybe 4 of these, and more often than not, you're like, I need to roll 2 successes out of these 4 dice or we die.
Yeah.
And you just we never were able to do it.
And you're playing all of this game to build a pool big enough so that when you actually attempt to assassinate Hitler, you're going to need X amount of successes, and you're going to need X amount fewer of those failures, those suspicions, and it is crushingly difficult to do. You will have a hard time winning this, but you will have an amazing time doing it. This was a wonderful game.
Well, and I want to say the designer on this one, Philip Dubarry, he just designed a game called Order of the Day Normandy with the Dietz Foundation. Last summer it was on Kickstarter. It is getting ready to fulfill, I think, in the next couple of months. But I'm very interested to see because now that I played this game, I'm like,
excellent game design.
Excellent design, and we'll see if that one lives up. But that's such a good game.
Incredible. There will be another full review of that.
That will never leave my
That is up there. It might even be better than Orange Shell Overcome. Like it's that kind of game.
And I love Orange Shell Overcome. That one's over there.
I think it's down this one. But those 2 games were like
so good. Yeah.
So then that night we sat down with Russ and John and we played Congress of Vienna. Again, there is already a video on the channel most likely, and there's more to this to come from this. Congress of Vienna from GMT Games. We played 1 turn. It took us about 2 or 3 hours.
And we were trying to learn the system, even though we knew Churchill.
Yeah,
this is very different.
Russ had played some of it. John was brand new. So we had to kind of teach him how to play it. But there's a lot of additional stuff, especially in the war part of it. And that's what I would say about this.
This is much more of a war game than, say, Churchill.
Churchill is a game about carving up the post-World War II peace and the political landscape. This is about ending the Napoleonic Wars. And so you are doing everything you can to prosecute the war as best you can. And if you can do it, you will win. And
we don't know what that looks like because we literally only played 1 full turn. But I'm telling you, those battles were
we did
vicious.
A ton of them.
Oh my gosh.
It was, and this game was It's very meaty. It's very long.
Yep.
It is. It's like we'll do an all day of this at WBC.
Well, doesn't a full campaign? It had 10 turns.
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
And they're
10
saying,
turns right here. Full campaign.
6 hours for the
I'm
full
thinking
game.
it's like 8 to 10.
Maybe if you know it all, but
Yeah.
these first few games are going to be more that 8 to 10 range.
We played one of the shorter scenarios, but we only got through 1 turn. And ultimately, when we set out to play it, our only goal was to play it for
to learn it,
a couple hours just to learn it.
But it was
mission accomplished.
It was incredible.
The cards are so different. It still has the conference table mechanic. The cards and the way you use them, though, is so very different.
Yeah, and
it's awesome.
You gotta, there will be a lot more to come, but oh my, this is...
Well, after Frank Esparago is this designer, I have seen Mark Herman post some stuff on this game. He loves it. And I'm like, I've played it. I think I like that way better. And I still love Churchill. And I love Pericles.
Yeah.
But we kind of said, you know what? This might replace Pericles for us.
But because Pericles is very divergent from Churchill, where I would super mega love Churchill.
Right.
And this is just Churchill, but with more war stuff.
fighting.
And that's exactly what I want.
It is
and so
good.
they almost like made this game for me, and it feels that way, and that's how much I like it. So technically, that's everything we played in April.
Well, I did play Operation Dragoon from Worthington. It's their small travel solo game. I played a learning game, and then one game got my butt kicked. My dice were just terrible. But great little solo game that's going to play in 20 minutes. And I didn't bring it because I'm a moron, but it is still set up on my table.
Yeah,
Excellent
I
games.
have, don't worry about that, it's a May problem. Yes, so then the next day was May.
Yeah.
And so we are going to, we did play a bunch of other games.
A whole bunch.
I think
I'm just going to shift those over to you because...
Yeah, we'll just kind of blitz through them here.
Yeah, we're not going to go into
so
great detail.
we played, on one of the days, we played a big, probably 5-6 hour game of Successors.
And
4th edition.
We play Successors the way it's not supposed to be played.
No.
And what I mean by that is if you looked at our general dead and disordered pile, we had like 10 generals all dead.
Yeah.
And the guys who were really into it, they're like, how'd this happen?
People were coming over to our table to take pictures of our dead and exiled pile. Like,
because we're stupid.
We were so aggressive. Everyone was.
You are not supposed to attack willy-nilly on that one. You're supposed to plan it out, prepare. But we went at it, and we had fun,
and it
right?
Was, and
it was a fun game.
It's a Richard Berg game, so
Yeah,
you get some of that Richard Berg quirkiness in it.
The combat system, I think, is so bad.
But it's memorable, and I had a good time with it.
When you lose everything. And that was the problem I had with Divine Right. When you lose a battle, you shouldn't lose everything. Armies melt away and reform.
And they do, but it's the whole calendar year, which is a really long time in
what I would say
Successors.
about Successors, we have now played it 2 times. I'm not sure I want to play it again.
I'll give it another 3 or 4 years.
Give it 3 or 4 more years,
like,
and
I'll play that again.
Be willing to play it.
I'll be tricked into it.
But I would rather spend time doing some other game.
Yeah,
that's my opinion.
No, I agree. I wanted, because I love. It's always trying to find those big multiplayer convention
100%.
games, and I was seeing, can this be that? Because
It's
the
good.
first time I played it was exciting.
Yeah, it's good.
But this one was a bit.
Yeah, I would rather play something else.
These are all out of order, so
yeah, we played these.
New Cold War.
Well, these are ones that we're going to play. But we played them.
This is a 4-player Twilight Struggle style game. That's 1989 to 2019.
From VUCA Simulations. This is one of the finest produced games you will ever see. Except for...
At first glance it is, yeah.
Except for the colors.
Yeah,
we really struggled with the colors.
You're killing me on the colors on this one.
Because they're too close. One's like a salmony pink, and then the other one's like a slightly less salmony pink color. And it's like...
And then it's blue and then a lighter blue.
Yeah.
But the blue and the lighter blue play on the blue Europe, which is the same color as the blue.
That was my
and the Middle East, which is also blue. Like, what are we doing?
That was my only problem with the production.
It was a little bit small, so a lot of the names were next to things.
I felt like they needed to blow it up. But I'm going to be honest, the game is very interesting. It's unique. It is a significant challenge. I think that there are many strategies that we haven't even scratched the surface on. You played China, kind of got dusted.
Yeah.
The EU and US kind of walked away with it because...
There was a lot of these games going on at Buckeye Games.
Agreed. I saw at least 3.
It was being sold there as well, so people were picking it up. And I'm curious to see what the staying power of this is. It was enjoyable, but...
Well, and it played in about... 3.5 hours.
Yeah, it's the same length as a full game of Twilight Struggle, but you will play it start to finish most likely, and it's 4-player.
And it feels meatier too. I love Twilight Struggle, but this feels meatier.
It's less ticky-tack.
Agreed.
And that's partly the way that the mechanics work in that game, and I think I liked that part of it as well.
Well,
it was a bit more intense.
I really liked the way coups worked. I thought that was a very good innovation.
Yeah, and just very unique. Simple.
Yeah,
right. So it doesn't get bogged down in a bunch of other rules. We also played another Shelf of Shame game, 1714: The Case of the Catalans.
This game is so damn good.
So when did you buy this?
I bought this like around COVID. So what's that? 4 years ago?
5 years ago.
5 years ago. I bought it on Amazon because it was on sale for like $18. Our friend Russ Wetley had bought it. And I'm like, well, hell yeah. And remember, we all had so much money because we weren't eating out.
Yeah, right.
We weren't spending money on gas.
No gas.
Our insurance rates had gone down. I spent like $18 and got it off of Amazon. And I never played it. And I begged Russ this year at Buckeye Game Fest, please teach us the game.
And we did, because Russ is like a missionary for this game.
He loves it.
Loves this game. He will evangelize this game until he dies.
It's great.
And we played it 5-player. With Stephen and Russ and Jordan and 2 of us, and it was so fun. This is the ultimate, like, take that kind of game.
It is 100% take that.
Everything's deterministic, and it is cutthroat.
But it just works. And it works in an interesting way that creates a unique experience that I don't know that I've ever experienced in a light war game.
And we were going at it and fighting and fighting and fighting, and the scores were like 20 points, 20 points, 18 points, 18 points.
It was
and
so
then
close.
Like 16 points. Like that, and it was.
And
I wouldn't have predicted that.
Right. And ironically, I think most of us got almost all of our objectives, which I was very surprised
Apart
by.
from me, I got 1.
You got 1?
Yeah, I did not do well in that.
But the objectives was an interesting part because you draw through, was it 3 at the beginning or 4?
Was it even at the beginning? Yeah, it was at the beginning. Yeah, you draw 3 of them.
And then you can trade them. So I kept trying to make trades with Jordan because I knew Jordan had what I wanted, and I can't believe he actually traded with me.
We're going to do
because that won the game for me.
A full review.
Oh, it was so good.
This
reminds me of The King is Dead.
Yes.
From Osprey Games in some ways.
I think in an action economy kind of way.
Agreed.
Because it's a totally different game.
But I think they look similar. They kind of use cubes on a... I really liked it. I'm so glad that I bought it.
Yeah, this is...
Excellent game.
This has got a lot going for it.
Shelf of Shame game.
Apparently, so we were taught the game. Apparently the rules suck. But the game itself isn't very complex.
No.
And once you know it, it's actually very, very, very good.
But that game was written or designed by... What's his name? I'm trying to remember.
It is...
Ivan Pratt?
I believe that's the case.
Yes. So he did a couple of other games, and I'm just like, wow, this one was so good. I'm going to hunt his other games down and play them because it was just that good.
Let's get this deck going.
We are going to do a teach
and play of Time of Crisis. We're going to run 2 games of this concurrently. It's really fun.
We're going to play Crisis 1914, which the more I play this game, the more I love it. I've played it 3 times now, and I just think it's a solid game.
This is one of those games that I will forever have to teach because the rulebook is so bad.
It just needs a
second edition real bad, and it needs new plays.
But what you are doing in this game is so unique and fun. We did a raw video on this with 2 new players.
And there's also an actual review coming out later as well that we've already made.
I'm going to be honest, I would play this at any convention. Plays in about 2 hours. It's a tableau building game over a series of...
Yeah, not really a war game.
6 turns?
6 turns.
6 turns.
Yeah.
And the game can end at any time by someone starting World War I, kicking it off,
and
right?
You don't want to do that.
You don't want to do that.
Bad.
And it's just a blast. I love it. We also are going to play...
Into the Whirlpool.
Yep.
We're going to have a play around of this. You've played this a few times.
At WBC.
Which I was not at, unfortunately. But this is a tactical American Civil War game. This is Battle of the Wheatfield as part of Gettysburg, and uses a cool, different non-hex based system.
Yep.
And it's by Herman Luttman, put out by Blue Panther.
It's
Looking
really
forward
good.
to it.
Yep, really good game. Here was the one that we...
This was the stinker. Divine Right is not a good game. And you can fight me in the comments all you want.
Let me explain your
It might have used to have been.
I think that's the key.
But it is
I
not
think
today.
40 years ago, what this was unique, interesting, people.
And it sat 6 people.
Right, but I don't think that they changed anything about it.
They did a straight reprint and they just lifted the artwork.
They might have done the art. It needed a rehaul of the combat system. It needs a rehaul of the rules. It is wildly imbalanced.
It needs to have the races and species redone.
Yep. Well, they have no specific... I was dwarves, and you set me in mountains. It took me 3 frickin' turns to get out of the mountains.
Yeah.
And I'm dwarves. I'm like, what? And then I encouraged the elves to join me, and it took them 3 turns to get out of the woods, where you guys were running all over the place.
Yeah, just like...
And I'm like, what the hell?
It is...
So, anyway.
This is much like Camelot. 'Tis a silly place. This is desperately in need of a second edition, right?
Yeah.
I think about the Kingmaker remake that they did a few years ago.
Overhauled the rules, added...
But they kept the original rules and the original map.
Added.
They printed a new map on the back with new rules to give it an updated, fresh face. So you can play the old, nostalgic, crappy version if you wanted to. But you could play the new one if you wanted.
I think
This is just a straight reprint.
I think my biggest disappointment in this game is how many times did they refer to an expansion?
Oh, a bunch.
10 times in the rules? Don't worry about that little piece on the board. That's going to be in an expansion.
I'll believe
Don't worry about this. And I'm like, why didn't you put that in the freaking game? Because that would have made it something that it's not.
It could have done anyway.
I don't know. And I love Worthington. This is Pungo.
This is Pungo Games.
This is just not for me.
No.
Now, tell us why we're wrong, because I'm sure there's devotees out there that have played that and they love that.
Or they're like, oh, go on BGG, and they've got all of the unique species and all of the unique races and
Why
all the
is it
unique
in
abilities.
the game?
Like, put that in the game. What are we doing? You did a reprint of this game from 40 years ago. What are we doing?
We've spoken too much about it. We've spent more time.
I played a few turns of Red Dragon, Green Crescent. We had this big game set up in the corner because we had a lot of interest of people saying, oh, you know, can't get a hold of this, or it's really expensive.
Well, it's not even out yet.
Dip my toe in.
I don't think it's even out yet.
No, and we've had this
for months, and we've played it for months.
We played it and reviewed it, and so I took it there. We set it all up, and I sat down with Cullen, I sat down with Neil, and we sat down and I actually played through turns with them. But we explained and showed this off to a lot of different people who wandered past because it's this is a game of eye candy. It looks amazing.
It's a huge game, right? Huge game with tons of counters on the board, but it really is fairly simple.
Yeah, the
game is not overly complex.
You've got a lot of options, a lot of menus, but you just read the menu until it says, this is the thing I want to do. And then you just do what it says. And you pick up your stack of guys, and you move in there, and you roll a bunch of D6s, and everyone's dead. And then you move on.
I think this was both on our top 10 list.
Yes.
I think it was higher on yours, and I think I was 7 maybe, and you were like 3 or 4 with it. But I love this game. I had a great time with it.
Fun.
Yeah, it was great.
This is a game that doesn't forget to be enjoyable and a good time.
We have been playing for the past couple of months. We actually played this first on vacation. No, we had played it before.
At
Basement Con.
Basement Con.
This is a trick-taking game based on the Fellowship of the Ring and the Lord of the Rings. Uber thematic, beautiful artwork, and it's a trick taker.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Well, I'm trying to win tricks by following suit or trumping those with the rings, and I'm trying to meet the objectives of my character. And I might be Frodo, and you might be Sam. And we have a scenario that we're having. Old Man Willow might be eating the cards that were blah, 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 or the ring rates are getting close and we need to avoid them. It is a blast, and I think we've played 9 or 10 scenarios now.
We're on our 9th. And what I really loved about this, we've played this a lot, really like it, it's good fun. it was cool. We got it out and we were playing it, and how many people came over and were like, "Oh, I love that game. Oh, that's my favorite game at the moment." So many people have and are playing this game, and it's just a great fun time.
Well, and I think the really good thing about that is this is the Fellowship of the Ring.
Gosh,
they can do.
They had better release
the Two Towers,
the
Return of the King.
Year.
They could do the Silmarillion,
I'll
the
do
Hobbit.
them all.
So very good. That game is amazing.
The other thing that we did, which we haven't mentioned so far, is the annual RPG. So we ran a game of Nations and Cannons this year. Which
5th edition D&D module.
Yes.
Or what do you call it? Sorry, I'm yawning.
Yes, Nations and Cannons. So this is from a company called Flagbearer Games, and we're still awaiting the massive new source book that's coming.
We've been waiting for like 3 years.
Should be out this year.
To get a drink.
But this was a blast. We had a lot of players this year. It was really cool. We had
2 tables of, one had 5, one had 4.
Yeah.
So we had 9.
And were you at the 10th?
I was the 10th.
Yeah, we had 10 players. It was a great time. And so a big shout out to Cullen, who's a friend of the show. He ran one of the other tables. Yep. We had called him up about a month ago, and we were in cahoots with what was going on with it. A wonderful time. A lot of new players.
Yep.
A lot of, I think, apart from yourself.
I think no one else other than Cullen had played the game before.
Did Russ H play? I think Russ played, and he has played before. I don't know. I think Russ...
Maybe.
Oh, maybe.
Yes.
But it was like 80% new players.
Yep.
And a couple of the guys at the table haven't played a role-playing game since they were like 14.
Yeah, or yeah.
And so that was really cool. I love getting baby role players.
Yep.
They're the best because they don't know what they can do, but they also don't know what they can't do.
Yep.
And so they come up with
all
the
kinds
craziest stuff, and you're like, yes, we're going to lead into that.
It was, as is our tradition, it was historically based, right? So this was set around, our adventure was set around Joseph Warren,
yes,
who was a doctor, very influential in the colonies, but also had some spying in his background.
A great propagandist of the time.
Yep. So it revolved around him. It ended up being the supernatural was involved. I thought it worked out pretty well. It was a blast. It was a lark. Everybody had a great time. A cannon was picked up by the main beast and waved around as a cudgel. It was a werewolf. I was a werewolf. How ridiculous that was. But it was when it happened, everyone at the table, their mouths were like open wide, and they were like, "What?"
As soon as the sun set on the Battle of Bunker Hill, and I mentioned that there was a full moon, a couple of the players were like, "Oh no!"
Yeah, it was awesome. But we've had a kraken, we've had a wendigo, we've now had a werewolf. We're really going to have to do something next year to top that.
And next year we've got war stories coming.
We're probably
so we might not
World
do
War
Nations of the
II.
Cannons. We might do a World War II game and see what that's like.
A blast.
Yeah,
I will play those. Hopefully at every con we go to.
Yeah, that's a great Buckeye Game Fest tradition, is doing a role-playing game. I think that's...
Well, Vijay Nagara.
Yeah, so this is one... Vijay Nagara just popped up on Rally the Troops. Mm-hmm. So I am currently in a game of this that I started either at the end of April or the beginning of May.
I love Vijay Nagara.
It's very good. I'm
not enjoying it as much on Rally the Troops as I did in person. And I don't know why.
Interesting. I'm having a great time with it.
I'm in 4 or 5 games. I'm just not enjoying it as much as I did on the board itself. Well, I feel like I'm disconnected with what I'm doing.
And this is a game that's very engaged.
Yes.
And so I can understand why that's the case.
Well, I feel like, to me, one of the really great parts about it was the order, the sequence of play, the turn order, and the eligibility being retained from time to time. It kind of goes over your head when you are playing the game.
I know what you're saying, yeah.
And I felt like, I don't know. And then the combat system, I thought it was a little more dynamic in person. When it rolls the dice for you and then you have to change it, it just doesn't feel as good.
You don't get to throw the dice.
No,
I agree.
I don't know.
But I'm having a good time. It's a couple new players. And I'm enjoying that part of it.
Well, and I'm relearning it, right? Because we've played it a couple of times and it's been a while. But it's a great game.
Really, really good.
This was on my top 10 list for a reason. It's that good.
Yeah, that's the kind of other big one that I'm in or doing kind of right now.
And we need to Do you just need to shoot the board on that?
Yeah,
one?
I do.
Okay.
We have a review of it. I just need to finish up.
Okay.
So the other thing that we're going to do... what do I do
I
with
gotta
it?
get a drink. I'm thirsty.
Is... I put it down somewhere. Well... Field is fighting formations. We're going to do that in May.
Oh.
That's kind of the other big May game.
Yeah. We already kind of talked about that.
Yes. But we're going to do... It's just been pushed back.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to commit myself to just at least playing around with some Fields of Fire.
Can we please do this together?
Yeah.
So that I could say...
But I'm also going to do some solos
No,
well,
I get
so
it.
I can
But
get up to snuff and then we'll
I would
rewind
like to
and
be
do some of the
exposed to
learning
it
stuff.
because I really want to learn.
You will
the
play
system.
this and you will be like, oh, let me buy a copy immediately.
Sure.
I promise you that will happen.
Okay.
It is a
That
big
good.
game. It's very intense, but this is unlike any other solo game because
it.
it's so much going on. But
Yeah.
it's like an episode of Band of Brothers. It's like an episode of Combat. It's like an
Very
episode of,
cinematic, right?
yeah, because the system is so smart and will do stuff. You know, the way the scenarios are built is incredible. You will march your guys up through the different terrains, and you're marching them like trying to keep cover, and you get into an enemy contact marker, and it's a specific kind of enemy contact marker, and you're on a specific kind of table, and you roll that table, and those tables are built to be smart. And it will pull out something, and it might be some guys.
Cute for me, Trace.
Cute, okay.
So gorgeous.
Here's the thing. I have the Battle of the Bulge expansion in here.
Yeah.
So don't tip this because these are all stacked.
Oh, I see that. Yeah.
But that's the only way to get them all in.
Got it.
But they
don't have lids on them like they normally
it's one
would.
stack with one lid.
Okay, nice.
So this is I don't like that normally, but in this game it's
But
the
it
only way
has
to get them in.
Yep, makes sense.
So just know if you get the deluxe version, you can fit the Battle of the Bulge expansion and everything else in here if you get the correct, and they'll help you out.
Got it.
Thing on their website, but it's just it's so good. It's so good.
I want to play it badly.
You will love it. Yes, we'll definitely do that.
And I'm so much looking forward to the parachute
I'm looking forward to that
brigade or
immensely.
whatever the next one is.
Yeah.
So
So I think that's probably mostly everything in May. I think. Let's talk very quickly about all the shopping we've done recently
well.
because it's a little embarrassing.
Do we have to?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I think it's going to excite a lot of people.
Well, I'm also going to grab my little minis that I bought because I'm embarrassed.
A lot of this started at Buckeye Game Fest. There was a vendor called Age of Glory Games.
Yes.
And I think he was from Baltimore, I believe.
Yes, Baltimore, Maryland.
And he'd driven over, and he had a selection of war games that was very interesting.
I have never seen a lot of those war games when a vendor is selling.
And
it was
that's
very
rare
interesting.
for us, I'll be honest. Because we go, every time there's a war game vendor, we go and pour through absolutely everything.
100%.
And he had stuff I'd not even heard of or seen before. And so that's always exciting. He had a great selection of stuff, very eclectic at times. But he was also selling like a lot of popular stuff too. It was really cool.
Yep.
So we're going to run through some of the stuff that we got from him, but not all of it because you didn't bring half your stuff.
I'm an idiot.
I picked up The Oncoming Storm, which is Library of Napoleonic Battles Volume 1.
Well, and this is a system that many people have told us you need to play this. So and this isn't more introductory version of the game, right?
So this has 4 battles in it. I have pretty much read the rules already.
Is that really the price? Is that a 7?
That might be a 4. And it's just messed up.
Okay, I would agree with you.
But
because there's not.
That's 4 maps in there.
Okay, so there's a lot.
It's double-sided maps. Yeah, and
nice cards.
I picked up the rules like in the hotel room and was like, oh, this is like super not that complicated.
So this game is designed by Kevin Zucker, and I have heard many people unequivocally say that he is like the Napoleonic guru.
And it looks great.
It does look great, and I've heard a lot of good things about the game.
Immensely.
Yep. Kevin Zucker, Operational Studies Group, out of Baltimore.
Yeah. I look forward
very
to this.
excited about that.
I look forward to that a lot. The other thing that they had, which was part of what was very exciting, is that they had lots and lots of blind swords games.
Well, and I bought 2, and you bought 4.
So I have The Day Was Ours, which is First Bull Run. This is Volume 6. I've got Longstreet Attacks, which is Second Gettysburg, or Second Day at Gettysburg, which is Volume 3. And then Thunder at Dawn, which is Wilson's Creek, which is Volume 5. And then I also picked up Stonewall Sword, which is Cedar Mountain. This one's just a baggy version of it as well.
Number 2? Volume 2?
It's funny it doesn't say on here, but it could well be.
Yeah.
And that complements on my shelf. I have Kernstown, which is number 4, and I have Shiloh, which is 11. And then you have, what? Do you remember which ones you got?
So I have, at home, not that I bought, but I have Prelude to Vicksburg.
That was Chickasaw Bayou,
Chickasaw
right?
Bayou, and then we bought the other one that released, the black and red, I just can't remember.
I don't remember either. Don't ask.
We bought that one, and then I bought, what, number 2? I can't remember what it is. I wish I had brought them. I'm so dumb. I'm getting old.
Yes, I can't remember the names of them, but you bought at least 2
I brought
there.
2 there.
Was it only 2 or was it 3?
It was 2. It was just 2. I had some restraint.
I did not. Oh, I also bought, it's on the shelf over here. Amateurs to Arms from Clash of Arms games, which is a War of 1812 game. And I bought it because of the map.
Yeah.
All right. The box was open. It was unpunched though.
Sorry.
We had a jumper. And I open it up and the map is incredible.
100%.
And the counters look real nice too. And I was like, well, I gotta have it. And I've pretty much read the rules for that. Also not super mega complex.
And that was a reasonable price. All these games are reasonably priced. I think we bought most of these on Saturday afternoon, evening, and I think he didn't want to haul them back. You know what I'm saying?
Because what we did is we went and we bought half of these.
And then we went back.
And then we went back and was like, bought half again.
We're idiots.
Yeah. Don't ask.
We're just idiots.
The other things that we had going on was the GMT 25% off sale.
Yep.
I kind of dove in on that and bought everything non-GMT.
Yeah.
Not everything. So I bought Medieval Conspiracy.
Sounds fun.
Every one of these games I bought was French.
Yeah.
So
sounds fun.
It looked real cool.
Yep.
Try reading the rulebook.
Oh, it's bad. UGG by UGG.
UGG. Udo.
Whatever. I say
games.
UGG. This game looks amazing.
It does look amazing. I'm not gonna use the money in here because I'm gonna use.
Are these blocks?
Yes, it's a sticker block war game. Look at the stickers.
We've got to play this.
But then I don't think they act as blocks. They're just blocks instead of counters.
Okay.
But like, try reading this.
I can't.
Exactly.
That is
so
terrible
we have to,
writing.
Like they made
that is like an ancient script.
Ancient script, and they used some old timey language.
Yep.
There's a PDF online to print off the regular rules, so I'm gonna have to do that.
That was just like floating around.
Yeah,
Does that go in there? Okay.
Probably. But
well, this looks fun.
A multiplayer game. I'm excited. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Well, and I bought Clash of Giants, and then I bought 3 Combat Commander battle packs that I didn't have.
Yes.
So I did good.
So here's the other thing. I bought this game, which was. I'm not going to try to pronounce this.
Vevictus?
Yes, from Vevictus. So I had bought this, but they sent this as well. And I just can't remember if I put that. I may have bought this too.
What is that?
Pacific Typhoon is what I believe it's called. But like, this was one of those instances where I was like, I don't remember buying that.
Sure.
And we've all been there, and this is definitely one of those. When I was looking through, because I was like, oh, all this French stuff, and then that was that, and I was like, I must have treated myself. I don't remember that. And then the last thing I got was Austerlitz 1805, which is part of the Rising Eagles series. So I have a bunch of those Fallen Eagles series.
Yeah. This is Rising.
This is right. So this is all late war stuff.
Yeah.
And this is early war stuff. But it's that same. I believe it's a very similar type of system from Hexasim. I have.
So these were games that you bought from GMT because they have partnerships with these folks.
Yeah. So this was all on GMT's GMT.com, right?
Yep.
Or GMTgames.com, and you can use the 25% off, and they have all these.
Is that sale still going?
I
don't remember.
I don't know.
Okay.
I presume that it would because.
Well, I bought, like I said, Clash of Giants from Ted Racer, right? ACW.
Yes.
Then I bought 3 Combat Commander battle packs that I didn't own. I bought the New Guinea one to go along with Pacific, and then I bought Sea Lion. And I can't remember. I'm getting so old.
A bunch.
But anyway, I need to clip them, and then I'll have. The only one I don't have then is Stalingrad.
other bits and pieces. So we just got an advanced review copy of, we're not pushing that anymore,
yeah, I know.
of Blue and Grey Deluxe from Decision Games. This one I think is still on pre-order. I don't think this one's out yet. They were very gracious and sent us a review copy of this. I'm very excited to play this.
You unboxed this, right?
I already shot an unboxing. I'm going to try to get it up as soon as I can because I really am excited for this.
Ooh, those are nice dice.
Look at the pieces. Look at the freaking
counters.
pieces.
Well, let me get to.
Look at how nice those are.
Oh, those are really nice. Very simple too.
Yeah, but it's the same script as the Paths of Glory ones.
Oh, nice. It is. You're right.
Real crisp.
Yeah, I like that. Ooh, those are nice.
Yeah. So Blue and Grey is like one of these really old games.
So is this a strategic look at the entire war, or is this?
No, this is 8 tactical battles.
Okay, nice. Well, hell yeah, we're gonna play this.
And so these are 2 old SPI quad packs, and they've redone them all and put them in one box.
Okay.
It was the gentleman at Age of Glory Games. He had this.
Got it, and he showed it to
me. He's not out. He was like, "Let me show you this."
Yeah, nice.
And so I was like, "Oh, I gotta have this." And so we
have a problem.
Yeah, this is. But I think this is going to be one of those massive sellers because everyone played these back in the day, and it's 100%. A really nice, clean new version of it. I'm looking forward to playing that. You're going to love it. Real simple. Think about it this way. These are like SCS ACW games.
Sure, yeah. Standard combat, very simple.
I move all my guys.
Yep, sounds
great. I fight
great.
with my guys. You move all your guys. You fight your guys.
8 Civil War battles.
Roll a d6 on a CRT.
We're gonna do it.
It's like that. It's real fun, real playable. Each of those battles takes 1 or 2 hours at most. Real good.
Well, we're gonna do a couple of them.
Also,
I think you got some stuff from Compass.
From Noble Knight, I picked up The Last Gamble, which is one of the heaviest games in my collection.
So, I want to point something out, though. I backed this on Kickstarter.
I had forgotten I didn't know that.
So I have this entire game sitting on my shelf, gathering dust, and you bought it.
Well, now we have a second one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I know, it's fine.
So
it's
I have
good.
a copy.
It's good.
It looks awesome.
I mean, I could lift weights.
Oh yeah, I will put on
this.
muscle mass doing that. It's huge. So this is the DSE version of Hitler's Last Gamble.
And this is by Danny Parker and is, I think, widely thought to be his best game.
And one of the best Bulge games, period, I think.
Yeah.
And it's just massive, right?
Yep, it is.
It's almost silly how big it is. But
well, and I think on Kickstarter, I think I paid like $80 for it. It was a really good
which is
price.
A very good price.
Yeah.
But they also had Stella Horizons.
You need to unbox
too.
this.
Yes, I will.
Because I won't unbox
It'll
mine.
It'll be like 45 minutes.
Yeah, right.
There's
a lot of stuff.
So we played Stella Horizons a few years ago. It's
where is it?
It's further on down the shelf, I think, just because it's so big.
It's down there.
But this
is a good game.
Well, so Stella Horizons was real good.
I very much enjoyed it.
Stella Horizons 2 is actually quite different, I think.
It's more of a...
It's because it's exploring beyond the galaxy.
Yes. Yeah.
Where Stella Horizons was not like linear, but it was like that.
Yeah.
And
agreed.
This is a bit more kind of open.
Does it have like fighting in it? Because that was the one thing I wanted in the other one.
I don't know if it does.
Okay. Well,
I think it's still about journey and exploration.
Okay.
Technology, customized building, faster, stronger, more capable starfaring fleet. Science vessels, combat ships. There it is.
There you go.
Okay. So
hell yeah, we're playing this.
It was, and I think that makes.
When did this come out?
This year. This is 25.
Wow.
By that I mean it says 23 on it. I swear this is a brand new.
Okay, it probably is.
And maybe I'm just totally wrong about that. I could have sworn this was a new game.
No, I believe you.
Ish.
I believe you.
Who knows?
It's good looking.
And it's...
You know, that looks like Darth Vader's head.
It kind of does. But yeah, I really enjoyed the first one.
I had a blast with it.
This is something that is different, but always love a good sci-fi game.
So we have a problem officially. Please send help.
Yes. And then we're not going to ask about all of the sticker paper and cardboard counters and die-cut punch set that I bought.
Because we have started buying more print and play war games.
So,
I've played multiples over the past year and a half.
If you're watching Didier from France, that's your fault. I bought all those because of you.
Thank you, sir.
Because I have all sorts of things that I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to just cut out the paper because I'll lose those, the little counters. I struggle with that.
I cut them out, and it works for me, but now that you have that, I definitely want to do that.
Yeah, so I'm going to do some testing and see if we
100%.
can get it to go nicely, and then it'll be like, cool, we'll do some of those.
100%. Well, I have a problem I have another problem.
You have a solution.
Well, we have a solution here. Okay, so if you remember, last month we talked about Historical Board Gaming's Invasion Normandy.
Indeed, we posted an unboxing video of that as well.
And that unboxing video has gotten like 2,500 views in like a week, which is amazing.
This is the video.
Yes, because there's nothing in the box. It's a $130 game and there's nothing in the box. You get a great big map.
40 of those dollars are the box, by the way.
I know. And I think when I bought it, I thought I would get like counters or something that I would be able to play the game with.
I thought there'd be more than just one manual and like 2 play aids.
So what they also do as a side hustle, or I'm going to refer to it as a scam, is they have all kinds of 3D printed, some are resin, some are plastic.
Most of that stuff is resin. Now, though, yeah.
But they have all these cool little army pieces, right?
Yeah.
And they have an entire list of what you need to play the game.
That does come with the game that you buy.
It does. You print that out. It's in there, and you can be like, huh, okay, I got to spend like $350. So what I have done is I've tried to identify the pieces that I believe are unique.
Yes.
I have now bought those. This group cost me $70. And I spent another group, and I spent $75. So I've spent $160 on what I believe are the unique pieces. And what I mean by unique, these are radar towers. So there's only 6 of these, and you put these on the board, and this is an objective that you're trying to take out, and it helps, right? So I bought 6 of those. They were $1.45 a piece. So you can do the math, right? There are flak batteries, which are better than your flak batteries. I'm just going to be honest with you.
They're more fragile, I agree.
They do look like they're fragile. I got to be very, very careful. But there are flak batteries, and I bought a bunch of flak batteries, even though I have a whole bunch of flak cannons right there. I bought 2 rail guns, and I know you can't see these. It's not important. They do
look cool.
These are way cool. These are about $3 a piece, and I bought 2 of them because that's what the game says you need. Then I bought 5 American Commandos because they are Rangers.
They're Rangers.
These represent Rangers, and they don't have Rangers, but these look like Rangers.
So you bought green Commandos?
I did, 100%.
Yeah, so that's
and they look awesome.
That's what they're going to do.
They look awesome.
And they'll do nothing else.
And nothing else. And then this bag includes about
these are cool though.
15 Goliath,
which
tracked
is a crazy amount of Goliaths, by the way.
And look at how tiny that thing is. Look,
that is very small.
That is so small.
But also like
awesome.
Look at the size of that map.
And
you've got a Goliath.
I know. Hidden.
Has no meaningful impact on a map that big.
But it's fine. It's in there.
Here we are.
I don't care. Shut up. Stop. And then this is a mechanized infantry.
Which is cute. The little Hanamag. This is great.
It's a Hanamag.
That's cool.
I had to get 15 of those. And then they had really sweet BF-109s.
Which I'm pretty sure, do they not have those?
No,
here?
Those are Stukas.
Oh, they are?
Which are great.
I'm glad.
When you
pulled those out, I was like, oh, no.
No, these are the fighters. And those are the, what do they call those? Tactical bombers?
Sure.
And so I've got the BF-109s. I've got the Heinkels.
Yep.
And then I've got the Stukas. Aren't there Stukas in there? I swear they're Stukas.
There's BF-109s.
Ah, damn it. Damn it.
But there's also Panthers. So that's nice. You could have more medium tanks.
Well, yeah. So anyway, I spent $150, and I think I've got all the unique stuff.
But yeah, then I happen to have all of this old Axis and Allies stuff from a game that I have since purged. But I kept the minis because I thought one day we'll need them. And here we are, one day.
So now
keep hoarding, lads.
I've got I think all the infantry, the artillery, the small fighters, P-38s. I've got the strategic bombers. I don't need the ships, ironically. They don't really have...
Really?
Yeah, they don't...
All that water?
They're abstracted. So I don't think... I don't know.
Abstracted?
I don't know. And then I have the Shermans. So I think I've got... between...
The chips. The chips are real.
Oh my gosh. So now I have the chips and the dice. So I think that we can
There's more control markers here than come in the game.
Yeah, I know. Anyway... We are going to play this, and we're going to have a great time. We are going to play this before the year's out.
Or, at worst, we've talked to course, Buckeye Game Fest.
David Johnston.
That we will play it next year at Buckeye Game Fest.
100% we will play it.
That's the latest we will play it.
So, I have a problem, and I will stop spinning. My wife is going to kill me when she sees, but, it doesn't matter.
Here we are.
We aren't going to talk about it. So that's our shopping spree and our April.
It's been
what we're going to do in May.
Yeah, May's going to be, we did a whole bunch of stuff at Buckeye Game Fest. We've got a lot of videos that we're making, which is taking up a lot of time. And then we've got, some work stuff and some bits and pieces. So we got another round of fighting formations we're going to do. That's the big gaming. And then I'm going to dabble with some Fields of Fire so that when you come over, we're not going into a blind.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably the most of. Oh, I'm also going to play. I've already played a couple of postcard games.
Oh, I saw your pictures.
One of them, it was called Morgan's a Comin'.
Yep.
Which
is
Morgan's Ohio raid.
Well, he also came over into Indiana through Kentucky.
Yes.
So my first job out of college was as the economic development director for Ripley County, Indiana. And Morgan sent Ripley to raid into southern Indiana.
Was that part of that same excursion?
It was kind of that same border campaign. So when I saw you playing that, I'm like, oh, I have a connection to that. So
very simple, light game.
Yeah,
and
looked
then
fun.
The other one was called The Union Forever, which was a strategic game about the whole war. That one was probably a better game.
Okay.
Real fun. I just soloed those at my desk at work on a lunch break each. Those are good fun little postcard games that I got for free.
Did you shoot videos on those?
I didn't, but I might do.
Yeah. People love that stuff.
Yeah. That's the other things that I will do this month.
Yeah.
So, are we doing Kickstarters this month?
I mean, I've got. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the ones that I've backed because we have a problem. I mean,
that way I don't buy them.
I know. Yes. So let me tell you what I have backed so that you don't. For some reason, my thing. Okay. So this month, Combat Volume 3 Arnhem.
Oh yes.
From
Yes.
Compass.
Big game.
I backed that one. Very excited about that.
Yes.
Song for War. Also, over the last month, I backed that one.
Okay.
Because
When's that one coming out? That's probably a while.
It'll be next year.
Okay, I figured.
Because they have a lot of...
That's a lot of production.
Yes. Gallipoli Ordered to Die, which is coming from the Dietz Foundation. So it's another Gallipoli game. It's by Clint Warren Davey.
Okay.
And we did not like 1 Hour World War II. I'm going to say that again.
No.
Other people have said, well, that game's great. I don't agree. But that's okay. It is okay. To each his own.
Yes.
Isn't that the saying? I'm hoping that this one is good because it looks like much more like a tactical war game on the landings themselves.
And it's $35.
Yeah.
It goes to an endowment that goes to teachers.
Yes. So
the Dietz Foundation's a good.
Yeah.
Good
so those are kind of the 3 Kickstarters. I do know there's other Kickstarters coming shortly. One of those is from Phalanx. They are redoing Conquest of Paradise.
Really?
Yes, so they're doing a deluxe edition, or a 3rd edition, they're calling it.
Fascinating.
I have seen the art. The preview page is up. It looks amazing.
Okay, because that's Phalanx's thing, right? It better be amazing looking. Successes, right?
Well,
incredible.
And we played that game several years ago, 5, 6, 7 years ago. I loved it. I thought it was a great game.
It was very enjoyable.
I think that was in our earlier days of board gaming, and our group liked it. We liked it. Had a good time with it.
But I think seeing it with the eyes we have now will also be a real cool experience.
So I'm very much looking forward to that one. So those are kind of the ongoing, upcoming Kickstarters that I'm aware of.
And we're just like waiting on Company of Heroes 2 that will come at some point.
Will it?
Well...
Will it?
Yeah, I might pay for the next round of like airdropping just so that we have it. I want to talk about it.
I will say this.
And then D-Day Dice Pacific is in the works as well.
So, some of these companies, and I get it, there's supply chain issues.
Yeah, right now.
COVID can't be used as an excuse anymore, though. That's long, long gone. Now tariffs are being used as an excuse. I realize it's hard to make games. I get it, right? But please don't take my money and take... How many years has Company of Heroes been, 2nd edition, been...
I don't
3 years?
This is the only company and instance I don't hold it against them.
Okay.
Because
you're...
No,
soft.
No. Because the guy who designed and owned the game company died.
Oh, okay.
And
So there's some...
it took his estate about a year to get
settled.
all of the passwords
That makes sense.
and everything and all this stuff. So
I retract my negative statement about that.
But every other company, I'm fully on board with.
Sure.
Like it's some of it's very extensive.
Even Purple Haze from I mean, that thing took forever.
We're still waiting on Brett Wilder, right?
Yeah, Brett Wilder was an amazing game from 3 years ago that we played a preview copy of. I can't wait to get it because that's going to be, I think, a convention mainstay. 4-player game. It's a blast.
It doesn't take all that long.
2 hours.
Dudes on a map. Wonderful game.
I don't know. Kickstarter, I have a love-hate relationship with it because I do see the value in it and I do see the ability of companies to really get their product out there. I get it.
Who couldn't otherwise.
But I just have a problem when it takes so damn long. And then when they don't communicate, that's the other thing that really bugs me.
Well, yeah.
They're required by Kickstarter to send an email a month, right? Required.
There's no enforcement of that.
Well, but why can't you send me 2 emails a month? Why does it just need to be 1? I've paid you money, man. Anyway, it's frustrating. I'll get off my soapbox. I'm an old grumpy old man. Get off my yard.
So, before we go any further, we're going to
keep your ball, kids.
An official word from our sponsor, Noble Knight Games, whose games you won't have to wait for.
Here at Noble Knight Games, we've been carefully growing the world's largest selection of board games, role-playing games and dice, war games, miniatures and paints, card games, and more, going on 25 years now. Our rustic castle contains more game and hobby goodness than you can shake a stick at, complete with careful packaging and the finest customer service the land can provide. You can buy, sell, trade from anywhere in the world, just like nature intended. Noble Knight Games.
You won't have to wait at all.
No.
They ship them sharpish.
Yes, as you just saw in that commercial. Love Noble Knight Games. They're a great sponsor and a support for not only us, but a number of people in the industry.
Yep.
And we keep going back there. I keep opening the website, and it's kind of like,
sure,
here's this, that, and this. They just...
Well, I have a couple games on a wish list. I'm just waiting for them to come in. And they'll get them from time to time when they liquidate someone's collection or they...
Patience is key.
Do an auction.
Something will always show up.
You just have to be ready to pounce when the prey has
When
come
you get
in.
that email through at 10 a.m., you better go.
What I would say is... We're going to try to go back to Noble Knight this fall.
Yes.
We probably need to start reaching out to them because it is almost June.
Yeah, we're probably going to drive up, just like we did last time, we'll go up for a day, see if anyone wants to go play some games, but it's...
Yeah. And if you remember last year, my brother passed away.
Yeah.
And it kind of nixed our plans and we had to
move
it a couple of weeks and it just...
couldn't make it.
Yeah, that sounds like I'm very sad my brother passed.
But it was very inconvenient.
Yeah, it was an interesting time. But then we went up there, we had a great time, but nobody came or few people came because they had change of plans.
Yeah.
And I get it.
Yeah, I don't.
This year I'm hoping that we can promote it, get the word out there, and maybe have a dozen or so people, because I know there's a ton of people up there.
But yeah, it's time to drive a carload of games up there.
And get a carload of games on the way back. So,
oh boy,
that's the way it works. You guys know it. We know it. I know that you know it. And I know that I know
that I know that you know I know you know.
Yeah, there we go.
Whatever that is. So, on to the topic for today's video.
Interesting topic.
Which was submitted by Mark, who's one of our $5 patrons. If you wish to be able to suggest topics, I make a post on Patreon once a month for our $5 and above guys, and you can go on there and suggest topics, and we typically pick one. This is one of those. So thanks everyone for your support over there. Really, really appreciate it. Helps to keep the lights on and helps the shopping sprees. But today's topic is, I'm going to use the term loosely, war games for non-war gamers.
Yes.
Because not all of these are going to be war games. We're not going to have that fight. That's not what this is about.
Yeah, I think really a better...
Historical games
for non-war gamers. I think that, because a lot of these are kind of historical games more so than war games. I want to point out one thing though. This is not an attempt to bamboozle your friends and loved ones into playing a war game with you. That's not what the focus...
You shouldn't do that.
Yeah, I would not recommend that, because I'm going to be honest, I try to explain explicitly what the game that I'm trying to get my wife to play with me is. And she is not a wargamer.
No.
Phase 10 and Dominoes are her two favorites.
Yeah, my train going up against your train, we do not roll on
Yeah.
the CRT and Dominoes.
They played some war games, but I try to be very clear with them. Here's what this game is, honey. Do you want to play with me? Sometimes she says yes. We get videos like General Orders and Scope Panzer, and sometimes she says hell no. And that's okay. Kelly has played a couple of war games with you.
Yes.
Memoir 44, which is one we're going to talk about tonight. And she seemed to enjoy it. She's very competitive. I always laugh when Kelly plays a game because she wants to pound you to dust.
Yeah, she doesn't care if she wins, as long as I don't win.
And me, it was like they ganged up the last time we played. But I want to make sure this is not one of those misogynistic things. Oh, it's how you trick your wife into playing. No, we're not doing that.
No, this is if you want to steer your group in a direction that's more historical, or people have shown an interest in something. These are
games that you can show to them
that will be palatable,
that will bridge the gap, create a good experience that might then lead to you fooling them into playing a hex and counter war game.
So, I think it's going to be pretty obvious pretty quickly. We have picked a lot of games that have mechanics that draw from non-war games.
Yes.
You will see that as a recurring theme.
Things like deck building, things like dice activation or dice choosing, narrative style games.
All things that they're familiar with that maybe we're retheming and adding a couple bits onto in a historical setting.
Yes.
Some of these are actual, war games, but they're very light war games.
Yeah.
There's a theme that you're going to see today. So let's start off with Memoir 44. And you get Ancients out.
Yeah, I'm going to get that one out because I do believe this one also can be used in that manner. Who doesn't like a good phalanx, right?
A lot of people, I think.
Well,
a lot of people see that and are going to be like, woo, I'm
okay.
confused. So
I remember the first time I saw Commands and Colors. When we were kind of dabbling in war games, I remember sitting there thinking, how in the hell is this game ranked so high? And because it was like top 5.
Yeah, Ancients was.
And I remember looking at it and I'm like, not really that great looking. Until we played it, and then I'm like, oh, that's good.
Yeah, I mean, still not great looking, but like.
But yeah, it's a great game.
So Memoir 44 from, I think these days it's put out by Asmodee.
Probably.
Who even knows?
It was
point.
Days of Wonder. But this is a Richard
Borg,
not Berg.
In fact, just leave the Berg games at
right.
home for this section of the video, honestly.
Yeah.
Commands and
You are not going to convince anyone to play war games by playing Successors and Genesis. And,
No.
I mean, great games in and of themselves, but they are not balanced. They are historical.
They're not introductory in any way.
Anyway.
So Memoir 44 is one of the most popular ones because you can buy it at Target, you can buy it at Walmart.
Well,
you can buy it on a shelf. It's got the plastic toy miniatures.
Just like these little things, it's got little plastic miniatures.
And it's
right?
a simple.
Who doesn't love that?
You move the guys around, but you move them
up?
based on the cards that you have in your hand.
Yep.
Hey, I've got 5 cards. They show me what I can do. Real simple.
Every time I see these.
Yes. So I also have the Cube for Me organizer tray in here.
But I mean, look at the tank. I mean,
they're cool, right?
That's a Panzer IV?
Yes.
I'm proud of myself. Alexander's really good at that. I'm like an idiot. But these are Panzer IVs. Who doesn't want to play a game?
8 wheels, Panzer IV. 7 wheels, Panzer III.
Well, I didn't have a chance to count the damn wheels.
Don't ask me how I know that.
Little men. You have, these are Czech tank barricades or whatever the tank barriers.
Pack 40s.
These are gun emplacements. I mean, barbed wire rolls. Come on. They're so cute.
This has that toy factor to it, which is great. But the game mechanics are very simple, right? Here's my hand of cards.
Yep.
They show me pictorially with the arrows what I can and can't do.
Yep.
And I play one card, and I move my guys, and I roll my cool custom dice, even though they're wooden. And
I don't like the dice in this one.
Me either.
They're just too light.
And you go, and it doesn't take very long.
Nope.
But Memoir 44 is a game that most non-war gamers have heard about, at least.
Yes.
right? You can parlay that into something like Commands and Colors.
Yep.
You could even go Red Alert, which is a big
Another
sci-fi
toy.
game. It's a bit bigger, but it's got the
Yep.
toy factor to it. It's harder to get a hold of these days, though.
Speaking of that, didn't we see the Zvezda game that had all the minis?
He had the original Commands and Colors Samurai,
Yeah.
which is by an old Russian company, Zvezda, who are a miniatures company, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, I have a bunch of their 50mm stuff. But like, that game looks incredible, but they all come on sprues. You have to cut them and assemble them, and no one wanted it, and that's why it didn't do well.
Yeah.
GMT's block version is
so good.
Peak.
But I think Commands and Colors is a good system, particularly Memoir 44, to get non-wargamers into a game.
Yeah, it looks great on the table. It doesn't take long to play.
Easy to understand.
Very
easy to pick up.
Understand.
Yep.
I roll the dice. The symbols match. They die.
Yep.
Real easy.
And Napoleonics, which I think is both of our favorite version in that system, is not a game that you're going to trick.
No, and I wouldn't put that
people.
on the list because it's Napoleonics, much less broad appeal.
It's too deep.
Has the combat matrices, lots of asymmetry, formations, and like there's much more to it, and the games take a bit longer as well.
Yep.
So that one I wouldn't recommend. Those are a great starting place for a lot of people. 2-player, don't have to rope in a whole lot of people.
Yeah.
Good things there. Let's talk about these guys
Yeah,
here.
let's, because we had a big conversation about this. Cooperative historical games, I think, are a very fertile ground for anybody to get their mind around historical gaming. Yeah, so these, well, and I would include Purple Haze.
Well, we're going to do these because these are narrative.
Okay,
we'll do it separately.
Sure. But I think these cooperative style games where you're literally working together on various objectives. In Hispania, you're trying to quell rebellion in Spain, in the Roman Empire. Tetrarchia, you're trying to control...
You're trying to fight off the barbarians.
Yeah, the barbarians in the Mediterranean. And then Black Orchestra, you're trying to assassinate Adolf Hitler.
Always a win.
Always a win.
Right?
Yeah.
That's easy to get people on board.
100%. I'm going to kill Hitler? Awesome.
Fighting rebellions in Hispania, a little bit more difficult.
A little harder. Little harder.
Really good. And these two specifically from Drake Ideas, the nice thing about those is small game.
Yes.
They're not very intimidating.
Yeah,
small footprint.
Very small footprint.
Hey, let's play this little game.
Yep.
It takes 45 minutes.
Yep.
Brilliant. That's already a lot of people will be turned off by more than that.
It has cute little meeples. It has cute little wooden
Those are
pieces.
not little. Those are big.
Well, they're big. But it's a fun, interesting game. I would liken these two games, now, they're not one, but to something like Pandemic.
They're very similar.
Where you're trying to clean up areas
put out
before
the
fires pop back up. This is a little different, but I think the concepts here are cooperatively working together to defeat objectives, making tough decisions, getting into a historical setting, and you're like, oh, that was really interesting. Are there other games on the Hispanic rebellions?
This is going around putting fires. This is about collecting stuff and making it go.
And using equipment properly and
synergizing your
taking
abilities.
Risk. Yep. The other one that I would include in this is Orange Shall Overcome, Dutch Resistance. These games, I think, can engender in someone an interest in history.
Agreed.
And I think that's one of the keys. If you can get someone interested in history, because I'm telling you, nothing stranger than history. Some of the most incredibly... I mean, think of like the Battle at Thermopylae. When in the hell have 300 people in the world ever held off like 10,000? But it happened.
Right. But, and that's, we're going to leverage that, because we're going to leverage that against this as well.
Yeah.
300 Earth and Water. I don't have it with me. Did you bring it? Your hand is on it right now.
Yes, I brought it.
Perfect.
Because I was thinking, not a cooperative game.
No, but 300 Earth and Water, Black Orchestra. These are prime examples of, you watch the movie, let's play the game.
At 100%.
Like, 300 is not a tactical game, so it's not quite like that, but again, it's a short game. But like, we watched Operation Val, what is it called? It's called Valkyrie, right? The movie?
With Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they're like, hey, that was really cool. It was a great film.
Yep.
Let's play the game.
Yeah.
Let's go and do it ourselves.
Hey, we watched 300. We watched Leonidas and the brave Spartans fight off the Persians. Let's play the game. And it's a good connection. And these games all are short. This one's not short. This
one's
is more like a 2 to 3 hour game. This one's under an hour, 40 minutes. These are like 30 minutes, I think, a piece.
Yeah, these are 35, 40 minutes at most.
So you're not going to overwhelm them. They do have multicolored bits, multicolored cool dice. I think there's a lot of visual appeal. And let's be honest, a lot of board gamers who maybe aren't interested in war games don't like the look of counters.
No, because
they want wood cubes,
you're looking
they want
at
cylinders.
A sea of cardboard counters on which I have to read multiple information points. That's too much work for a lot of people who board game for fun.
Yeah.
Right? That's not
they feel
what
like it's work.
Like,
right?
I hope I'm not coming as snobbish, but most people don't want to do that in their spare time. Right?
Agreed.
That's not the normal. Wargame is unique in that that's the kind of stuff that we like.
Yep.
Right? I want to get into the crunch and the details of that stuff, and I think the difference between your 4 value and my 5 value is really interesting, and what that affects tactically. Yep. That's not normal.
Or what it represents historically.
Yeah, most people don't care about that. They want some red cubes and some blue cubes. These are my guys, these are your
dice.
Okay, what's the asymmetry in that? I've got more, you've got less. What does that look like?
Mine are more powerful.
They don't need all that extra crunch yet.
Well, and I think all 4 of these games are so interesting in the decisions that you have to make. The mechanics are really interesting. The mechanics are not repetitive. They're kind of unique. I think these 2 can be played solo. I think Black Orchestra has a solo option.
It could be.
Yeah,
it could
this
be.
one I'm not sure has a solo option, but
it says 2 on the side, so I don't think so.
If you got someone hooked on these because they're like, ooh, that was fun, they could then play these by themselves, which is, once again, going to strengthen that connection to history and
but what I like
hopefully
about
have a nice return.
Most of those, Hispanic Tetrakii and Black Orchestra, they can sit multiple people.
Oh, 100%.
How many game groups have 2 guys?
Yep.
Not many. Most either have no guys, or they've got 3 or 4 guys.
Yep.
And so a lot of 2-player war games are out simply because of that.
Yep.
Because you and I might want to play Twilight Struggle. Well, guess what? You know,
What
John
our
and
other
Dan
2
can't
friends
do
going to
it.
do, yeah.
And like, I want to force them into some 2-player abstract.
Yeah, Tetrarchy is a 4-player game. Hispania is a 4-player game. 300 is just a 2-player game. This one plays up to 5?
I think Black Orchestra does 5.
5. We did 5.
It's 5.
But, bigger game, multiplayer game, interesting topics, interesting mechanics that draw people
the
in.
multiplayer is always going to be a good option for you as well.
I also wanted to talk about these 3, if that's okay.
And these are 2-player games.
Yeah, so these are all 2-player games, which I think is fine, right? You can have these 2-player games on this list. But once again, these games they're war games, but they don't feel like war games, right? Because you're using custom dice. You're using Saladin from Shakos. Great little game, by the way. It uses these cute little, great board, by the way, custom dice. Who doesn't love rolling custom dice?
And again, they're pictorial. It tells you how many sticks you remove from your formation.
This is 2 hits. And then it has these very cool green and red sticks and cylinders, and they look great on the board. The mechanics are very interesting and unique, and this game plays in 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah. Oh, I just watched Kingdom of Heaven, the Director's Edition, and no other edition.
I agree.
Great.
You need to watch the Director's Edition.
The theatrical release is a nightmare.
Yeah.
But like, oh, cool. That was really awesome. And the pitched battles were really fun to watch. Cool. Here's the game. Let's play the game. It takes 30 minutes.
But you're making a connection with the mechanics and the pieces, the multicolored pieces that this game has. This game uses some very interesting mechanics. It is not a hex and counter war game, but it does use counters.
Yes.
Right? It is area control. It uses some cubes and some counters. It's very light. It's very interesting. This one is 1943 to 1945. It was originally called the soft underbelly. I'm not still sure what happened. I will forever rename this thing. I will forever call it the soft underbelly because that's what I backed this on Kickstarter. This game was supremely interesting.
Really fun.
I can play this with my wife. I guarantee it that she would play this one. And I think she would like it because it's tactically interesting. There's lots of great decisions. It looks great. It's small. and it's going to draw people in. And if you like this, I know Sergio with Dissimula Edizioni is now going to expand the system. I think he's working on a North Africa game, or an East Front game. I'm sorry, it's East Front.
Okay.
But
North Africa will be awesome.
Excellent game. I wish that others had known more about this. We did a video, we did a written thing. Great little game. This final one is a trick-taking game. Everybody knows how to play a trick-taking game, right? Name some hearts, spades, euchre.
Is the Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring?
I'm trying to think of like games that our wives would have played, right? Because they're taking tricks.
Phase 10.
Phase 10. This game uses trick-taking, right? You are combating each other, trying to gain the initiative to do what you want on the board. It is definitely a war game. You are moving units around a point-to-point map, and you're having battles.
Yeah, and they've got modifiers on it and all sorts of things.
But the trick-taking is such a central part to it that and it's called the Great Northern War.
Which war?
Yeah, people will make fun of us. From CSL, Ray Weiss designed this. It's an excellent game. We loved this game. I think my wife would play this one as well. This, I think, though, is on the deeper end of the spectrum.
Yeah, because I think you've got the trick-taking that's basically for initiative.
Yep.
And then you
do the war game.
This point-to-point war game.
Yeah.
It's not mega complex,
No.
but and also it's the Great Northern War, right?
Who's played a game on that?
Outside of the PhD students, who's interested in that?
Yeah.
Not many people.
Yep.
But the game is very good and it isn't mega complex. So if you've got the time and someone interested in war games,
give it a go.
Hey, a little trick taking, point to point, let's try it out.
Yeah. So I also think it's interesting. Most of these games that we're showing, they're kind of smaller box games because
I think that's often how these games are packaged. Because they're
trying to be crossover.
Palatable, right?
Yeah. Bite-sized.
Speaking of bite-sized, Purple Haze.
Great game. Great game.
We got there in the
end. And we've got how many expansions over here? 1, 2,
they're kind of dotted
3,
around. 1,
like
2,
4.
3.
There's one there.
So I'm going to bring out 2 games. So we got Purple Haze from Phalanx, which is a Vietnam war game. And there's 4 players. Yes, there's 4 players.
And it's cooperative.
Yes, or you can very easily
solo
it. And we have War Stories Occupied France, also 1 to 4 players. Oh, this one does 6 players, apparently.
Really?
That's what it says on the back. It says 1 to 6 players.
Okay, we played it 4-player, and it works really well. 6-player, interesting.
I didn't know it could do that.
I did not know that either.
Interesting. So these are a different kind of breed of game. These are both what we're going to call like a narrative style game.
Yep.
So it's not quite a choose your own adventure, but that's the concepts of these games.
Well, you're given alternatives and you say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to go right, or I'm going to go left.
Yeah, so War Stories is a little bit more choose your own adventure, right? You open up a sheet and it tells you, hey, read the first page of the book. You read the first page of the book. And then the book starts to give you choices and says, hey, do this or this. How much do you want to commit to this? And then you're going from paragraph to different numbered paragraph throughout the book. And it's putting you in situations where you're going to commit your resources, you're going to use your abilities. There are times it will put you in a tactical combat situation, and there are, without spoilers, there are mechanics and components for that.
Yep.
And it will guide you through how to do all of those things.
It's not overly complex.
I think it's very uncomplex.
And it also, I think, gives you a very vivid picture of how things work, which I think is interesting.
Yeah, and it does it real well. This is also, it's not, again, small package. You can buy it on Amazon.
Yep, for like 35
and it was
bucks.
Like 35, 40 bucks at the time. And it's got 3 big old missions in it. And
with well over 150 entries in each one of them. One of them has like 500.
Yeah, I think 150 is the smallest
one.
That might even, I don't think.
It might even be like 200.
I think that was the introductory one that we did.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the one we did was 300.
Got it.
But like, so there's replay value in those, even from just making different decisions and playing
make a different choice.
the same things differently.
Yep.
Lots of that thing. Purple Haze is a bit of a step up. This has more rules in it.
And this is much more of a tactical combat game as well. But it adds that layer.
Yeah, you have like the big grid board and you're moving through that and there's different counters and icons on that you've set up for the mission. And when you get to those, it's like, hey, go to this page in the book, and you go to that page in the book, and you read the stuff. It's got the cool flavor text, a little bit more adult themed, right?
Yes.
It's
Swear
Vietnam.
words.
Yeah,
You'll come across like a dead body, and it's graphically just, I mean...
Whereas War Stories is much more palatable for the family.
Yep.
Purple Haze doesn't pull any punches, right? No. It's like watching a Vietnam War movie, right?
Have you seen Turning Point Vietnam on Netflix, by the way? That just came out.
No, if it just came out, I haven't seen it.
Oh my gosh, that's good.
Is it?
3 episodes on the what, the why, and the when. Very good. Okay. Very good. I've watched all of it, and I'm like, I want to watch that again. I learned a ton. Anyway.
I've watched the Ken Burns Vietnam at least 3 or 4 times.
And that was really good, too.
Amazing.
This is even better.
Really?
And I think it's better because it goes into it more eyes wide open.
Interesting.
Sometimes I think Ken Burns tries to, what's the word I'm looking for? Wrap it up in a nice bow and kind of give the sunny side of the...
Interesting. I did not get that from his Vietnam documentary.
Well, but it's not really a sunny side thing.
Exactly. Maybe.
But what he does is he focuses on the heroes and the individuals.
Yes.
Like he always follows like 6 people, and you fall in love with those people, and you forget the horrors of what is going on. That's my opinion.
Sure.
This, they didn't do that. You're literally in it with McNamara, Lyndon Johnson, and Kennedy, and they're making decisions about what and why.
Interesting.
Anyway, it's really good.
No, I'll have to give it a go.
I very much enjoyed that. In fact, I want to watch it again, and I want to watch it with my wife.
You know what's funny? I think I actually caught Kelly watching the first episode of it.
It's really... Ask her what she thought about it. My guess is she didn't like it. Because it's an hour and 15 minutes, and it is deep.
I think she was enjoying it in the way that you enjoy a documentary like that. But I remember... Because it starts with, like, the Viet Minh beforehand.
Yes, in
stuff,
1950s.
Because I remember I walked in and I was like, oh, I've got a game downstairs on that. Oh, I've got a game downstairs on that. Oh, I've got a game downstairs on that. And she was like, get out. And I'm like, yeah, that's fair.
Well, sorry, we're digressing here. This is what we do. And if you haven't watched it, I'm sorry. I hope you watch it because it's freaking amazing. But they go into the political side, the ideological side. And I grew up in the Cold War. Yeah. You were kind of after.
Oh, right? I was born in '88. I was
taught better dead than red. And I'm telling you, to this day...
And so many people just agreed.
Well, I know. But to this day, I can't stand the Russians. I can't. It was so hammered into us, and it was a way to get us to do what was wanted by the machine. Yeah. And I think that comes out in that documentary. And I was a little bit blown away. Because I've not really thought about it in that way. I know that war was more divisive. I know there was more back home non-support. I'm telling you, watch it. It was really good.
I'll give it a go, absolutely.
It's worth 3 hours.
Purple Haze is like playing a Vietnam War film.
Yes.
Genuinely. It's you're gonna go on a combat patrol. You're gonna go, you're gonna land, you're gonna do what you're supposed to do, you're gonna try anyway. You're gonna work your way through this, you will fight 1 or 2 actual tactical combats where you'll flip to a board and do your stuffs, and then you'll get back to moving around strategically and reading the events and doing the booklet. Really, really fun, really enjoyable. And then you get to the debrief at the end, which is always fun.
How did you do?
And they're like, hey, did you find this and this? And you're like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Right.
And they're like, you're assigned leave on the base, and you're cut down to 1 day instead of 3 days in Hanoi.
Yeah,
See ya. And you're like, no, what?
What I would say about this one is I would start with War Stories.
Yes, this is much more powerful.
If those folks enjoy that concept, this is a step up because you're going more into that tactical, what weapons am I going to take? What skills do I want to get? Do I want to carry more food, or do I want to carry more ammo, or do I, you don't get that necessarily in War Story.
Not in the same way, no.
It will, to me, it's kind of a step up in that tactical, still has the narrative driven concept, but I think if people start liking this, you can then jump to something like Fighting Formations, Combat Commander, some of those lighter tactical games.
You go from Purple Haze to an actual tactical game. I think Purple Haze would be a good game if you've got like a an RPG group.
Right.
So I think RPG players...
Because they would get into that.
Yeah.
You're living the life of these soldiers.
Pathfinder, D&D, those are all more complicated than any of these games,
100%.
right? And those guys are used to the numbers and the abilities and a little tactical board. And they're going to like a story, it's self-contained, it's a one-shot, right? You can frame it like that. So if you've got an RPG group who might be showing interest in a historical thing, Purple Haze might not be that big of a jump for some of those guys.
Agreed. Well, and it's fun.
It's extremely fun.
And it's cooperative.
Yeah.
And once again, going back to the Black Orchestra, Hispania, Tetrarchia, everybody likes working together. And let's be honest, there are some board gamers that do not like confrontation.
Oh, there's a lot, yeah, absolutely.
In any way, shape, or form. They want to do their own thing, build their empire, and nobody attack it. These games are like that, right?
Yeah, we're helping each other.
We're helping, we're working together.
We all win together.
Yeah. So let's talk about deck building.
Sure, yes.
And cards. So let's pull up Undaunted. We have Undaunted 2200 Callisto.
This is because this is what I happen to have right here with me.
Yeah, I did not bring my Undaunted.
We could have had all the other Undaunteds, but Undaunted 2200 Callisto.
Excellent game.
I think this is also a good one because it's sci-fi.
100%.
Right? If you look at Undaunted North Africa, some people are going to be like, sorry, you what?
Yeah.
Whereas hey, it's a sci-fi game.
Yeah.
Let's play a sci-fi game. Cool.
Yep.
We can play it 4-player, where it's a team game. Us two against you two, instead of it just being...
David signed my rule book.
Look at that. He autographed that bad boy.
Yeah.
Really, really good game.
So good.
And it's a deck builder.
Yep.
Right? So people are used to, they know, if you say, hey, this is a deck builder,
oh, I know what that
they know
is.
what deck building is. They know half the game already.
Yep.
And the other half of the game is so simple that they'll be able to pick it up in 2 minutes.
Well, and literally the deck building part of the game is the engine. And you're putting soldiers into your deck to make your deck more effective. The more soldiers of a certain type you have, the more you're able to activate those soldiers on the board. So there's a tactical element. But that deck building, I think, creates a nice bridge to get to a game that then is a tactical game, right? You're going to make people feel more comfortable with it. In fact, where's Time of Crisis? We got that out.
Oh, that's down here.
Time of Crisis is, to me, the same style of game. It's a deck builder.
Yeah.
You're building a deck with different event cards that you can then use those points to take military actions, political actions, social actions, and people love this. These hybrid style of war games really draw folks in from that other side of the gaming table. Time of Crisis is a game that we taught 7 people how to play this game at Buckeye Game Fest, and every single one of them was like, oh, this is amazing.
Yep.
And they had a blast. My guess is they went home and every single one of them probably ordered it.
Or they opened up Rally the Troops and could play it for free.
100%. But I love these kind of deck building games because they are a hybrid and they bring people into a now this one's not historical.
No, but the genius of Undaunted period is that not only do you have the deck building stuff, when you use the card in your hand, it tells you the tactical things you can do with it. Move 1.
Shoot.
Move 1.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Shoot 2. Roll 2 dice to shoot.
Yep.
Did you hit the number? Yes or no?
Recon.
For the stuff that's more complicated than that, there's 2 things. There's an explanation on the play. But it is a tactical game, but the card tells you. It's like Memoir in that way, where it's like, I look at my cards, it's very easy to assess which one I want to do and what I want to do with it. And Undaunted does that. Yeah, oh, this big tactical board, ooh, scary. It's not. Well, you just do what's on your cards.
And I think if they like this, you can then take them back to the first game, which is a historically focused game, Undaunted Normandy, the Normandy invasions. Then you could go to North Africa, which is a totally different game, and it's so very good. Then you add the reinforcements. Then you add the Battle of Britain.
And all sorts
and then
of
you
other stuff
Stalingrad, which is more legacy style. David and Trevor are geniuses, and they've really made a fantastic system that has taken off and sold thousands and thousands of copies. And created probably a lot of wargamers that would not have been wargamers without those.
And the games don't take long, right?
No, they do not. 45 minutes to an hour and a half. On the same theme of cards, right? These are from, what are you trying to find? Oh yeah, 13 Days. We even talked about that one, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
So these 3 games are great examples of serious historical topics.
Yes.
The fight for whether we were going to go to Civil War or not, right? Leading up in 1861, Fort Sumter, right?
Yeah, it ends at Fort Sumter.
Yeah, it ends as the Civil War kicks off and the Confederates fire on Fort Sumter. Card-based game, area control, you're putting cubes out on the board, you're removing cubes, you're trying to control and score, what are they called? Domains or something. Red Flag over Paris.
What are they called?
What? I think they're domains, if I'm remembering correctly. It's been a while since I played this. The reason I brought these up, I played this game with my wife about 50 times. She loves it. I've played this game about 20 times with my wife. She loves it. 13 Days from Ultra Pro. Fantastic little card-driven games, and then you throw in Red Flag over Paris. This is much more of a war game. This has an actual war game element to where you're fighting. Yeah. You're fighting with, what are the barricades, and then your men. You're rolling some dice. But these are really good introductory games that open up history. I've never played a game on the build-up to the start of the Civil War. I've never played a game on that, but this is really cool. I've never played a game on the Paris Commune, right?
No.
Didn't even know it existed, really, until this game came out a couple of years ago.
I was trying to see.
Right here.
They're called Crisis Dimensions.
Crisis Dimensions. There you go.
Yeah.
Not domains.
But I think I got 13 Days out, very similar in its style with the way that the dimensions work.
Yep.
But the card play is a little bit. I know it's very similar.
Well, this game was based on 13 Days.
Yeah.
It kind of used the same concepts. Mark admitted that, and he created a great game.
Topically, these are a bit more niche.
Yep.
I think 13 Days is Cuban Missile Crisis.
Everybody
a bit more in the
knows that.
zeitgeist.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Everything I knew about the Cuban Missile Crisis came from the movie JFK with Kevin Costner.
There you go, which is a fantastic movie.
I'm pretty sure that was the one.
Not accurate, I don't believe.
I think that's the one it was anyway. But I remember watching like a biopic of JFK, and there was a bit during...
So was Greg Kinnear JFK?
Yes.
That's not...
okay, that's not JFK.
It's not JFK. I want to say it was called 13 Days.
It could have been.
Yeah,
because it
13
was about,
Days in November or something like that.
That's the one that I remember watching as a kid.
Excellent.
I remember it being excellent. I haven't watched it in so long. I got to get back to it.
And actually, Oliver Stone's JFK is amazing too. I'm going to be honest. Yeah, although I'm not sure it's factually correct. I've read several biographies on the assassination of Kennedy. They did take some liberties, but that's okay. It was an interesting movie. But 3 very interesting topics. I've played 2 of these 3 with my wife. She will play these at any time. I could go home tonight. Well, probably not tonight.
Not only because it's late.
It will be late. By the time I get home, it'll be 11. But she would play with these with me tomorrow. She loves them that much. And if my wife will play these games, anybody's wife, anybody's friends will play these games, pick them up, enjoy them. There's nothing not to like here. Yeah, they're all very good.
Yeah, this one, I would say Red Flag over Paris, out of all of these, is the one that has the most kind of...
It's a little complex.
Asymmetry and like exceptions, and there's a little bit more complexity to it. So start with one of these, whichever
and if you
one
like
is,
them,
and just pick the theme that's going to be the most appealing.
Yep.
And then Red Flag over Paris is kind of this kind of a step laterally, but also forward as well.
Yep.
And there's all this puzzly extra stuff to think about and consider with your decisions, which are already pretty intense.
Yeah. But I love all 3 of these games. I would play them at a drop of a hat with anybody.
And what I also like about these is, I think it's 3 hands.
Yes, it's not long.
And so you just
45
here's
minutes.
one hand. You play the hand.
You play in 3 or 4 cards.
Okay, I've got one hand left.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
They're upfront about how many turns there is, and that's a very unscary way to play a game like that.
I do have a couple of other games here that we just wanted to add. This is probably the one that really is a historical board game, right?
Sure. Yeah,
not a war game.
This isn't a war game, though.
But it's about the Versailles Conference to end World War I in 1919, called Versailles 1919. It does what it says on the tin.
Yes.
Designed by Mark Herman from GMT Games. This is an excellent crossover game, I think, because it really will make Euro gamers feel very, very comfortable.
The reality is this is a Euro.
It's a Euro game,
right? I've got my influence, and I'm trying to put it out to win these things, to get the points, and to do set collection.
But it has cubes, it has counters, it has these great cards that you're fighting over, trying to control. I would actually like to play this. It's been a long time.
It's been a hot minute, yeah.
But I think that Jeff Engelstein and Mark Herman designed this. They're also working on Triumvir, I think, together.
Yes.
I don't know when that's coming out, but this is an excellent game. I would really start people on this one if they really are big Euro gamers.
But yeah, if they're a big Euro gamer,
they're going to love this.
The rules uptake for this will be no more complicated than any of those big Euro games that they play.
And this is the Great Statesman series, right? So this
technically, yes.
I think it's volume 3. Yep. So the first one was Churchill, which we love.
Churchill's incredible.
Second is Pericles, which we love. The third is this, and now the fourth is Congress of Vienna that we talked about earlier.
Which doesn't make this list, but it's incredible.
Well, it's more complex.
It's very complex.
But I do think if people enjoy this game, it would be very easy to shift into a Churchill.
Yeah, I think
probably not a Congress of Vienna.
No,
but a Churchill.
I think Churchill would be a good step because you still have like kind of it's not really Euro-y, but like you have this card play thing where we're negotiating over these issues to get some points, and then to use those to prosecute a war to get some points, and without being super mega crunchy.
Right.
But Versailles was really fun. Plays 4 people.
Yep. And we've played this. I think we've played it twice that I remember. I've
definitely played it twice.
Once with our father-in-law and brother-in-law, and I think they really enjoyed it. I can't remember who we played it with. I can't remember.
We played it with Mark Herman, and we played it with
Maurice.
Mo Fitzgerald.
Yeah, Mo Fitzgerald. I very much enjoy this game. I think it's a great game to, once again, expose people to that historical side of board gaming.
Yeah, and that is an approach from a different kind of group of non-war games. I think there's value to that as well.
There are 3 other games that I have here. If we want to, I just want to talk about these very, very quickly.
Hit Total Domination.
Oh yeah, because it's
the same game.
Yeah, it's literally just upgraded. So these are 3 games that I would consider crossover games as well. They use colorful bits. They use cards. There's a little bit of not deck building, but it's cards used in a certain way. So General Orders, World War II. Look at this cute little box.
That's a brick.
I played this with my wife last summer. We did a video. She loved it. She said she didn't want to play it again, and that's okay. We played it 3 or 4 times. I think I was beating her at the end, and she didn't like it. And I tried to lose, but you know me, I can't lose. But I think this game is good, and I think a lot of people will like it. This is by David Thompson and Trevor Benjamin as well. Imagine that. They make a lot of these great little crossover games. Scope Panzer is also very good. There's a Scope...
there's a lot of those.
There's 3 of them. Scope Panzer, Scope Periscope.
Surely it's not called Scope Periscope. Surely it's not. Surely it's just called Periscope. Surely.
Scope Submarine. I don't remember.
Scope U-Boat.
Yeah, but there's 3 of them. I own all 3. I've played this one with my wife. We loved it. You build the board with cards, and then you move your units around on that board that all have the same back, and then you fight. It's just fun. It's light, fun, interesting, plays in about 30 minutes. You talk about mini World War II and Total Domination.
So we got these because this happens to be the same game repackaged. So this is mini World War II from Formosa Force Games. You probably can't actually get this anymore, but if you happen to see this, this is the same game as this. So Phalanx,
and it's a great game.
Phalanx put out Total Domination, literally an identical game. They've just repackaged it and upgraded the components. This is a 2 to 4 player World War II game. And
abstract World War II game.
Yeah, like if
you look at that board, you're going to be like, what the hell am I looking at?
This is everything that 1 hour World War I was trying to be.
Yes, agreed.
But this game succeeds at doing that. So you play the entirety of World War II, but it's like...
in about 2 hours.
Japan is like one space.
Yeah.
And then there's like 2 ocean spaces next to it, right? The USA is like 2 spaces.
Yeah.
But it's about force projection. And you're just moving up as far as you can get and hoping you can time that with your teammate and you can get it to go and then it's done.
Yep.
But other than that, you'll go back and forth, fighting.
Well, and
we're not being complex.
I'm going to say I enjoy this game a lot. We've played it a couple of times.
And this has a review on the channel.
It does. The thing that I think I like about it is that when you look at this board, and which one did we play on? There's 2. We did
not play with the Arctic expansion.
So we played this. No,
that's a different thing.
we played this.
No, we did. Yes, but there was a board in the middle that covers up the Arctic expansion. That's what it is.
So here's the board. It's crazy. It's a little crazy, but what I liked about it so much is, to me, when I played this, I could feel the spatial connections to the different areas and why those were important based on the stars that they were assigned. Some had 3 stars, some had 1, and it was so interesting because it taught another side of history to me in a very simple
and the back of it is exactly the same board, except it's actually geographical.
Yes.
So, like, if you don't like this abstract kind of, effectively it's just very geometric, you can do it the other way, because these aren't in here. This has nice recessed boards for all of your technologies.
It's a great game.
Like that.
Very much enjoyed this game.
Real cool game. It's probably on top now. Maybe.
Anyway, I think these 3 final games that we looked at, they're really, there we go. That should fix it. I think these are kind of the pinnacle of getting people into those war games, because that has a lot of war game in it.
Yes.
But it's a little bit more abstract.
This is an actual war game, right?
Yes.
You will fight the war with
100%.
Military pieces.
But I do think one thing that I have a huge consciousness about is continuing to bring new folks into the hobby.
Oh, yeah.
Because, Alexander, I'm 52, you're 38, right?
And I need people to play this with me.
Absolutely.
And if they're not coming in, they're not going to do it.
Yep. The only way you're going to get people to play this with you is if you can introduce them to these style of games, get them hooked.
I realized that was a thing.
Yeah. So that they then will spend 10 hours with you playing this game.
Please play this with me.
And it's something when we go to these conventions, that's why I love to do those teach and plays.
Yep.
Coin teach and plays, Time of Crisis teach and plays. We'll do some others in the future. But I want those 6 or 7 people that played with us to go home, think about that game just like we do, and be like, oh, that was really good. Then they're going to buy it. They're going to play it with their group. They're going to convert 2 or 3 other people. And then we're going to see them in a convention in a couple of years, and they're going to be like, hell yeah, let's play
They'll be
Blind
teaching
Swords.
their friends Time of Crisis, and they'll be like,
100%. And then they'll go to Blind Swords and Combat Commander, and then that will lead to the Russian front. I mean, that's the way this will work. That's the way it's worked with us.
Yeah. Because you don't play war games unless you're interested in
History.
the history part of it, right? No one's like, sure, I'll play whatever, because they will play one and be done.
Yeah.
If they keep coming back to the war games, it's because they have that shared interest in the history, and the reality is that's what's going to get them.
Yep.
As soon as they get interested in that military history side of things, you've got a war gamer immediately. It's done with. Like, they might not know it, but it's done.
You know, they say when you get older,
Yeah.
as a man, you either have to have a great interest in World War II, or you really get into smoking meat.
Yeah.
Right? I do both of those and enjoy both of those, but I've become more into the World War II history. So I think, I hope that people take this, show this video to their friends, cut out the segment where we just talk about the games, and give them this list of games, and I guarantee you're going to get someone that you can then play your war games with.
And there's like a million of these.
100%.
Right? There's we could have gone forever talking about.
Well, I didn't even talk about 2GM Tactics, because this is a tactical game, but it is so unique and interesting that you're going to bring a lot of people into the tactical domain by playing this.
You could do something like SAS Rogue Regiment.
100%.
You could do La Resistance.
Yep.
You could do pick any Worthington wargame, basically, right? There's so many things out there that you can do. This was hopefully a smattering of things that was both diverse in the style and also the approach that people might want to be able to get. And I hope that was helpful and came across.
I just know that when we started on this journey, I remember looking at some of the games that you were looking at, and I'm like, why the hell would we ever play that? And it took time to get to that point. We had to play the games like Twilight Struggle, Churchill, Coin. Then we started getting into Wilderness War. Then we started getting into a little heavier Combat Commander.
Empire of the Sun.
And then that led to all of that. And that's the way the journey is going to work for us, not necessarily you. You can start with these games and go in a different direction. But
and for me personally, I think the theme is going to take you the furthest.
Well, isn't that what people are interested in?
That's what I was interested in.
Yeah,
I think
the
about
theme.
Think about the games that we were playing before we got into wargaming, really, right?
I didn't like many of them. I really didn't feel fulfilled when we would play those. Some of them were fun.
Like, I think about, of all the Euro games that I played and liked,
green cubes into yellow cubes.
The one that I liked was the Manhattan Project.
Oh, that game was awesome.
A historically themed Euro game, right?
Yeah,
I think
was
we
awesome.
played a lot of dudes on a map games.
Yep.
My favorite ones were things like
Dominant Species.
Mare Nostrum.
Yep. Oh,
right. It's or even something like Cyclades, which is like pretty ahistorical, but it's that mythology.
Yep.
That mythology comes from the Iliad and the Odyssey and the Theogony. That's what I studied at school. That's history to me.
Well, and then Kemet. We played Kemet about ancient Egypt, and
those games were always more interesting than the farming sims, right?
Well, and we loved Tim, but he would force us into playing a lot of farming sims.
But like,
and that's okay.
The resource.
And I'm a farmer. I grew up on a farm.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't
you
wanna
lived
do
for farming.
I didn't
sim,
want to
I'm
do
out.
that.
But like, I always had a preference for a theme that was based in reality. That wasn't just like, hey, this is just someone's job that they do. Right.
I'm gonna make cars.
I don't want to play a game of someone else's job. No thanks.
Nope.
And I know soldiering is a job, but like that's not what we're talking about here. But so pick a theme that your friends are interested in, or that they might be in, or you watched a movie about it recently. Ooh, you know, it's July 4th. We watched The Patriot, as anachronistic as that movie might be, and as awful as Mel Gibson is as a human being.
It still was a pretty decent movie. But like, some of it was really bad.
Cool. What is it? First Hidden Strike, American Revolution from Worthington Games. There is a game out there.
Or Freeman's Farm, or
there are games that you can play on the thing that you just watched.
Yep.
That A24 movie Warfare that's come out right now.
Yeah.
A lot of people are going to go watch that. Very intense film, apparently. I want to go see it. There are games out there that you can play on that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Something like, what's the Catastrophe Games one called? Zermatt. Right?
Yep.
There's stuff out there for stuff that's in their zeitgeist. If they're not like, it's super mega interested in something, there are things out there that you can do.
Yeah, 100%.
Anyway, hopefully this was a helpful list. Let us know what games you have used to introduce to people who have then led them into wargaming.
And maybe you've used the Russian campaign. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, good for you.
I just don't know that most of our friends would have. And we played Coin and some of those games, and most of them liked it.
Yeah. I watched Narcos. We're playing Andy and Abyss.
Right. So anyway, good video. I enjoyed that. That was a good discussion.
Thank you very much for tuning in. I've been Alexander of theplayersaid.com.
And I'm Grant.